players not at all awed by the guys that you always refer to as the Sharks. Let's get to the action.
Well, I doubt there's anyone playing this game who has more the respect of his peers than this man right here, talking, of course, about Phil Ivey. He has won everything. He has total respect of everybody that plays against him. They all seem to be in awe of his talent. Everybody loves him. Nobody wants to hook up with him.
It's a special challenge when you go against Phil Ivey. So, a bit nervous.
Well, I don't really pay too much attention to the awe factor.
I played an entire day at the same table as Phil Ivey, but you know, somehow I managed to survive.
I don't really put too much into any of that stuff. I really try to concentrate on playing my game and taking my time, taking chances when necessary, and doing what I got to do to win this tournament.
Well, Phil Ivey's to my immediate left, so I've got to be very wary.
One thing I've learned about poker a long time ago is that you really can't take it personally. I mean, once you start taking things personally, things have a way of biting you. Really, all that matters is my table and how I'm doing.
And that expression, of course, is part of what makes him a great player. It's an expression that just doesn't change.
And if there's anything more frightening than having Phil Ivey at your table, it's having Phil Ivey at your table with a bunch of chips.
Well, that's exactly right.
But Jerry Fitt has picked up the pocket Cowboys. Phil Ivey behind him with a pair of sevens. Might feel compelled to call. He does. We got a nice pot brewing here, about 30,000 in it.
Now Fitt thinking, what do I do now? Here's the flop, 3, 4, 5.
That's a dangerous flop for Phil Ivey. No overcards. He may think that his sevens are good. Fitt leads out with the kings, 20,000. And that's an amount we've seen him bluff before. Phil Ivey will remember that that seems to be an amount that Fitt likes to toss in as a tester. Looks like he's considering a call here. Or no, he's raising.
Bold move from Phil Ivey here. You could see a decided underdog.
Now, for Jerry Fitt, that raise is actually a little bit more comforting than if Phil Ivey would have just called, I think. Because if Phil Ivey turned a set of 5s or 4s or 3s, it's more likely that he would just call and keep his customer around. So I think Jerry Fitt's got to like his hand right here, and he should. He is leading big time.
Yeah, and I don't think he's going to let those kings go.
No, the question is, does he want to merely call or raise? And I think he should raise here. This is a nice, healthy 120,000 chip pot. A real big one for Jerry Fitt to take down. And I think if he does re-raise here, he's got a good chance of ending the hand.
Long thinking process here for Jerry Fitt against a guy that most people feel the best player in the world right now.
I'm all in. All in.
All in.
How much? Count it.
And Phil Ivey says, how much?
Well, Fitt looks to have about 170,000. So that's an additional 110 or 20,000 more for Phil Ivey to call. I think Phil Ivey could fold this hand. He can get away from it here. So then again, he's getting about 3 to 1 on a call. Even if he knows he's facing the kind of hand he's facing, the pot odds could warrant a call.
Well, it's a big moment for Phil Ivey. What he decides to do, we'll find out on the other side of this. Welcome back to PartyPoker.net, the Aussie Millions. Crown Casino here in Melbourne, and we have an early confrontation here as Jerry Fitt has gone all in with his pair of kings against Phil Ivey's pair of sevens. And decision time for Ivey.
Phil Ivey would have to call an additional 122,000. Now, you see there's 291,000 in the pot. That means he's getting less than 3-1 on his call.
122,000.
And you can see the odds there in the corner, Barry. Jerry Fitt is slightly more than a 3-1 favorite. So mathematically, Phil Ivey is not getting the right price to call here. But he doesn't know that Jerry Fitt has kings. He knows that's one of the possible hands Jerry could have, but Jerry could also be getting very bold with an ace-king. Jerry could be getting very bold with a pair of sixes. Oh, and Phil Ivey is going to call.
Well,
I don't think he's going to like it.
No, a bold move, and he saw that look on Phil Ivey's face, and that's a face that doesn't usually crack, but it did give you a glimmer of what his thought process is.
And this is the largest pot of the tournament so far. If Jerry Fitt can hang on, he will be the new chip leader at our table.
The jack on the turn does no good to Phil Ivey.
Ivey needs a 6 or a 7.
And here is the river card. It's a king, and Fitt is going to win this hand.
Huge double up for Jerry Fitt. And Barry, you've referenced that sort of icy demeanor of Phil Ivey. Take a look at him. That's not the usual Phil Ivey. There's a human being there, and he's not happy.
Yeah, he's questioning himself, no question about it. So look at the chip count now. Ivey's dropped from 1st to 4th, Fitt, the big chip leader. Kenneth James is right there. Jamil Dia, the defending champion, just under 300,000. Daniel Cairns has been short stacked for a long time. Still is.
Kathy Liebert is just not getting any tickets. And with the blinds at 1,200 and 2,400 with a 400 ante, she can't afford to sit around too much, nor can Mr. Cairns.
Raised 8,000.
And Ivey raises 8,000 on a 9-7.
He's on the button, taking advantage of his superior position. Kenneth James is in the big blind. It will cost him an additional 5,600 to see a flop,
which he will do. James, slight favorite. Here is the flop. King 6-4. Not much for anybody.
That's 12,000.
12,000 is the bet to Kenneth James.
Ivey has merely a 9 high, but he does have the button. James knows that if he calls here with his weak ace, he'll probably have to face another bet on the turn and river, meaning he'll have to improve his hand to win.
Deep breath from Kenneth James, and he's going to let it go, and Ivey is going to win this. Nice little comeback hand for Phil Ivey.
Well, he'll need about 15 more of those to recoup the 413,000 that was lost last hand.
Little bonus coverage now as we take you out to one of our outer tables. Scott Kilcullen all in against Scott Fishman.
And it looks like Kilcullen has a little lucky talisman in it, perhaps a photo of his family. Yeah, he gives it a kiss. And he might want to kiss his cards too, because those aces now are a 9-1 favorite. Fishman is going to need a queen. One of the 2 black queens remaining.
Does not get it, so Kilcullen will double up.